Alrighty, so we're going to check to see if this number on the right solves this equation here on the left. So this is like what the value of x is going to be. So we're going to say that x is, negative 3 over 2, right? So what we got to do is take this number, negative 3 over 2, and plug that in for x. But in here and here, because x appears in two places in this equation. So you're going to have parenthesis minus 2 equals 3 times parenthesis plus 1. And you take your negative 3 over 2 and you plug it in for x in here and here. Make sense? We got negative 3 over 2 minus 2 equals 3 times that plus 1. So now we're in a position where we've got to add fractions, right? Yeah. So we've got a denominator of 2 here, and right. Well, but we're subtracting. You see, you gotta turn that's 2 over 1, and you gotta turn that into halves. So you gotta multiply that by 2 over 2. See that? So that's negative 3 over 2 minus this 2 over 1 becomes 4 over 2. So 3 halves minus 4 halves. So what's negative 3 over 2 minus 4 over 2?
Minus 4 over 2, that's half. No.
So it's kind of like just having negative. What's negative 3 minus 4?
1. Negative 1.
No.
Oh, sorry. 4 times 8. 4. No, 7. I'm so sorry.
Negative 7, right? And you can go plus negative. Negative 3 plus negative 4 is negative 7. Okay with that? So this is similar, but it's 3 halves and it's 4 halves. So you can go plus negative. So you got negative 3 halves plus negative 4 halves. What does that make?
7.
Right.
Negative 7 over 2.
Negative 7 over 2. Yep. Now here, we've got to actually multiply. Because it's 3 times negative 3 over 2, right? So turn the 3 into a whole number, or into a fraction. 3 over 1, right? And then you multiply the tops. 3 times 3?
9.
Yeah. And of course this is positive times negative, so it's a negative fraction. And on the bottom, 1 times 2? 2. So we've got negative 9 over 2. And then plus 1. And in fact, we could turn this into halves as well. How would you turn 1 into halves?
Oh, into half.
Yeah, well, turn to 1 over 1 and now turn it into halves because we need a common denominator, right? So multiply it by what? Yeah, multiply it by 2 over 2. So 1 is 2 halves, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
2 halves makes 1, right? So negative 9 over 2 plus 2 over 2 is what?
Sorry, hold on, I'm right. Hold on, I'm right. Lord, I need your help right now. I mean,
So what's negative 9 plus 2 equal to? Good. So this is just negative 9 halves plus 2 halves.
oh, so 7 over half is 0?
Again, another way to do it is, look, you've got the same thing on the bottom. So you could, let's write this out for fun. Negative 9 plus 2 all over 2. Does that make sense? You can go from here to here. Because it's the same denominator. So you're allowed to do that.
Negative 7 over 2.
So yeah, so this makes negative 7 over 2. Right. So doing the left we did, well, more like steps and using our fraction skills, right? But so this became negative 7 over 2 and this became negative 7 over 2. So does negative 3 over 2 solve this equation?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So answer is yes. Negative 3 over 2 solves the equation.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. That's a great one.